Sup, y'all? Try to fix this quiet. Anyway, I wanted to come here and that I see that it's happening a lot uh, on the interwebs. Okay, on these social media platforms, people, we know people get the tendency to say things that they probably wouldn't say in the way that they say it if they were in people's faces. You know that, right? In public and eye to eye with some folk, right? So, as you know, there is this whole craze of eating healthy, go vegan, meatless burgers, blah, 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 blah. And you have people, out here, I'm sure you see the memes like, comparing uh, healthy food versus, unhealthy food or fruits and vegetables and versus meat. A lot of people saying things like, it's just healthier to, we weren't meant to eat meat, da 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 da. So my point, my issue, where I have issue is these people that tend to assume that everybody can afford to eat all fruits and vegetables, um, and healthier foods because of their set of circumstances, right? And that, when you, because this kind of sparked because I had mentioned, I had said someone said something about, that it wasn't expensive to eat healthy. And I'm like, no, it is expensive to eat healthy. And so I got all these comments, people who, this one guy, I live in California and, I have bills and, I have co-ops and, I have ethnic markets around me and, and I still, we eat fruits and vegetables. We eat it. Okay. So basically, here's my gripe. You people stop getting on the interwebs telling people that you don't know their financial circumstances, that everybody can eat healthy. Everybody can eat fruits and vegetables, mainly fruits and vegetables, and eat healthy in general. They don't need to buy unhealthy things. As if people just buying, everybody just buys it just to be buying it because they're lazy or they're addicted to the sugars or, whatever the chemicals are, that the additives or whatever that they use in it to make it addictive, whatever, right? That gets on into this because I know it'll be somebody that'll only listen to this part and be like, well, it ain't my fault you broke. I personally can afford to eat a little more than the average person of fruits and vegetables. I also garden about 4 months out of the, well, not 4 months, probably like 4 to 6 months out of the year. So I do produce my own fruits and vegetables, right? Various types, collard greens and all that stuff. I grow all that stuff. Been doing that for 5 years now. And I do have an income to where I can afford a bag of grapes that's $2.99 a pound. And when you get to Cub Food checkout, that's $8. That's like $8, right? On one item, on one bag. I can do that. But what about the family that does not have that much and they got 2 to 3 miles to feed? How long do you think that one bag of grapes is gonna last? Right? Stop, you people. Y'all need to be on these interwebs, jumping on people's comments and threads and stuff, pretty much basing your analyses of other people's economic statuses off of your own and your resources. So your resources, circumstances, and all that. That's what you're basing off of your life, you and where things are in you, but how things are in your area and the resources that you have in your area. Okay. There are food deserts, meaning there are people that have to drive 45 minutes if they got a car to go to somewhere to get some healthy food, somewhere where they have an abundance, a farmer's market, or an abundance of options of affordable, healthy food, right? Not everywhere you go and wherever you live at, you're going to be surrounded by food co-ops or ethnic grocers or what else? uh, 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 farmers markets and things of that nature. Not everybody has that option, and some of the like. So some of y'all are getting so nasty with it. Y'all want to go back and forth with people. Oh, you did you this and that. Trying to talk down to people. Things that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. Things that if you were in the way in which you're coming at people, you would in certain areas and in which you're saying those things, you would hope to the just only get cursed out and not have to squabble with somebody, knuckle up with somebody for being it's arrogant and ignorant, right? Because on one hand, you're telling a bunch of people the way what you say it, and you want to argue back and forth. You're telling people, some people that may not that want to but cannot, that they just don't care about their kids. People get offended when you start talking at them in that way, like they don't care about their children, because that's the first thing people are going to get offended. Like, oh, what are you saying? Like, I don't care about my kids. You think I want to feed them the sugary cereals and off-brand cereals and the margarine, which we all know is a few molecules away from, well, we all don't know, but if you don't know, margarine, that fake butter, is a few molecules off of plastic, right? And certain things that is in it, they put in Rubbermaid products. But all in all, like, you wouldn't say, you can't say half of that stuff that you say, and nastiness and how you say it. Y'all need to calm down. It's like everybody with their own, people pushing their own little agendas and their own little thing, whether it be various topics and various agendas. Y'all are being too forceful, right? Okay, and it's a way that you say, you just can't sit up and tell people, well, well, and then when you say, well, there's food deserts, well, I mean, if you really want to eat better, do better, you just go to extra mile. Really? When there's half of Americans can barely afford their rent. There in Oakland, there's you'd have to make $40, I think, an hour in order to afford the rent in Oakland. That means nobody in that city can afford to even pay to even live there, right? You have people that are not have working livable wages. They're worried about paying the rent, let alone trying to, pay all the other bills and food. And we all know when something goes down in the household, whether, you got a ragged car and something breaks down, or wherever, some type of crises where you have to draw from some money, your food budget suffers, because that's where you can go. Okay, that's the most expendable in most people's minds. If they got to pull some money from somewhere, that's where it's going to be. You got people out here robbing Peter to pay Paul just to pay the rent. Paying maybe a third of the rent, asking landlord, can you wait another 2 weeks and I can pay that? You're making these broad statements. Now, it's not like, okay, and I'm not talking about the people who come with resources, okay, and say, eating more healthier isn't as expensive as people may think. However, that this isn't something I'm saying towards everyone, because I do know that there are various economic statuses out here. You're not gonna, y'all need to stop. People out here, looking for jobs, living out, they living in hotels, what I'm saying, for 6 months, a year, 2-3 years. People living out their car a few months, a year to 2 years, chronically. Okay, kids, and got children and stuff like that. Hey, oh well, I have kids, and I live in LA, and I have these things around me. And then I had some other lady talking about, so, well, my cousin who is broke or whatever, working minimum wage, they do woo wham, they fine, they go to the co-op or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. You're giving me stories based off of, you're making your assumptions of how everything is everywhere based off of your set of experiences and resources and all that around you. That's your problem. Stop doing that. Do you know that there's and fruits and vegetables costs different have different price points per area of the country and even within certain areas of the city. You know, the more poor areas of the cities, the more major cities, that those more economically disadvantaged places, they charge them more for their food. They can't, you know, waste the gas if they have a car or go take a cab way out to the burbs where the shit is cheaper and come on back with something. I mean, like, stop doing this to people. Stop it. Stop it. So my solution to you all that be all jumping on all these memes and stuff like that, or with these coming with all these memes, jumping on people's comments, jumping on people's feeds, dropping this shit in groups and shit like that. Watch what the fuck you say. Check yourself. Understand everybody is not as fortunate as you. They may not have the family support. That's another one. Some people may not even have a family, period, let alone a family that is struggling, or they may not be at odds with, basically a dysfunctional support system where they don't have the support mechanism to kind of take over where they fall short at, right? Everybody ain't got a good job. Everybody don't have farmers markets around them, let alone the fact that some people live in cold climates. Farmers markets are only open for a certain part of the year. Anywhere from 3 to 8 months, depending on where you live at. Okay? I mean, even me, I mean, I farm and, do all that stuff, but I'm not going to be like, well, you could do it. This shit's hard work. I don't know this. I don't know what people's, situations are. So I'm not going to say it in a arrogant way, like, well, I do it and it's easy. Why? Because it's easy for me in my reality, right? This is what y'all need to understand. It is you and your reality. Just why, and you can mirror that with other things, like how people cope with stress, or people's mental state and how much they can go through. You may be a stronger person, but you can't be like, oh, get up and pick it. Why you depressed, man? Check that shit off. You can't be like that because everybody's different. So this is no different than that. There's parallels across the board. Stop doing that to people, right? Stop. It's a way to go about that. Don't just be sitting up, well, if I could do it. Understand first that everybody's not in your situation. So when you want to post something that ain't on your page or wherever, be mindful of how you say things. Remember the fact that everybody isn't in your your economic doesn't have your set of circumstances, or and that the fact that everything is not the same all over the country, let alone all over the world, but definitely all over the country, it's not the same. Okay, there are parts of this country that are so poor, they're equivalent to third world country living conditions. That is what the I want to say the European Union or whatever. What's that over? Not the European Union. What's that? What what I'm talking about? The who got the space thing? What I'm talking about. They said that there's places in the United States that are comparable. Sadly, the most powerful military in the world, the richest country, has areas of its own nation that is comparable to third world countries, living conditions, resources. Okay, why you up? Well, my cousin, They poor and they could do it, so everybody else can. Well, I have bills and I have kids. Show a little respect because if you and remember, try to act like, I know it's hard because everybody do it, but I mean, because how y'all come, y'all know y'all will get hit in the mouth or y'all would have some problems. You things will go left real quick. How y'all, if y'all kept that same energy and how you say things on the internet versus how you would say that in public to somebody around like a bunch of obviously poor women, black women, or whatever, people sitting out at the in line for the food shelf, or at the job center trying to looking for a job and stuff, and you on there like, well, I can do it, I work, and my cousin, I need me my perspective, my individual life experience, my journey. You, not somebody else's. Okay? Understand that everywhere in the country is not like where it is where you live at. Okay? Everybody may not have this good family system and stuff that